Yeah, today we had the official opening of the Nobles County Historical Society's new exhibit. It's entitled Nobles County, a Second Home for Immigrants. We first started dreaming of this exhibit about 6 years ago. It's been a process. It basically tells the story of how immigrants have played a role in the county's growth and development all the way from the 1870s with the pioneer homesteaders, many of them who were immigrants, all the way up to today's modern day newcomers. And it tells how they contributed to the community, what challenges they faced, and how they've positively helped to kind of create a new sense of community among a completely diverse population that didn't exist here probably 30, 40 years ago. And so I think it's a great opportunity for the residents of Worthington and Nobles County, and even outside the area, if you have relatives or visitors coming, I think it'd be a great way just to show them something that Worthington is kind of proud of, how we've kind of essentially kind of crafted a new community which has been inclusive of all the different ethnic groups that now call this their home. The museum is typically open Tuesday through Friday, and usually there's somebody here you might want to call just to make sure.
My name is Sum Chandaswang, and so my family, we are refugees from Laos. So when the secret war broke out in Laos, we pretty much became refugees in Thailand. But the journey, the 2 weeks journey that my family took from Laos to Thailand was just, it was a very traumatic part in our life, I think, for my family, for my parents, for my siblings. So in the midst of war, communists took over their village, and then they ended up in Thailand. I pretty much grew up in poverty. I remember there were days where we didn't have any food, water, clean water. We didn't have any clothes. Our shelter was pretty much gravel. And then also it was in a one-room, like barn-like building. But we ended up living in the refugee camp for 15 years. Coming to America was pretty much a shot in the dark for my parents. They didn't know where the future would take them, but I'm so glad they risked it all and decided to sign up to be enlisted to come to America. We were on the waiting list for at least a year, and then so when we were approved to come to the U.S., it was still uncertain as far as like what kind of food they have here, how are we going to get treated. Everything was a shot in the dark. We didn't have, TV, we didn't have social media where they can know what America was. America was just a word, America. I think my first day of school was a little rough because it's my first time being in school, period. I didn't know how to speak the language. The food was unfamiliar. Let's see, on the first day we had cereal and milk, Fruit Loops. I remember that in school, and then I remember being so sick from it, I threw up everywhere in the gym. But, the kids there were so understanding, they didn't make fun of me, but I was sent home. But because it was my first time drinking milk, like cow's milk, or having cereal, it was unfamiliar. Eventually we got to try our first pizza, first school meals. So it was different, but it was good. Having this exhibit, I think it's amazing. It's amazing for our community because all those stories, the history could be shared. Having these artifacts, it's very meaningful. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who did the background work, building this foundation for us, and I'm hoping this kind of connection keeps building for our community.
So we welcome you to take part in that experience.